Good morning, loves. Good morning. This is Emme Rain. I am your magical mystic, and we are about to have a morning session, and I am actually doing it face to face. Okay, so give me a couple of seconds. I want to always share to my other pages because you guys know that generally I go live on my profile, but I'm starting to move majority of my lives here to this page. So if you follow me predominantly to catch the lives or whatever, then you want to make sure that you follow me here. Okay. And one moment. Okay. So one of the things that oftentimes I find that people don't have, and it's not that it's completely missing. The issue is that oftentimes we just really are not self-aware. Okay, but it's inner fortitude. Now, inner fortitude is I forgot. Hold on. One more place, my loves. Inner fortitude is all about having the strength within yourself, no matter what else is going on, no matter what it feels like. It is having the strength within yourself to do what you know you need to do at any given time. It's not a lot of people who have it active, okay? Because I want you to know we all have the ability to be strong on our own. Every single person in the world. Not every person has that ability active. There is within us all everything. Okay? So from a perspective, we are all the same. We are unique fractals of the one thing, the universe, but we are all the same. Hold on, y'all. Let me do my thing. All right. Now, when I say that, I mean this. Every person in the world has been hurt and has had a reason to give up because of that pain. We've all been disappointed. We've all experienced lies. We've all experienced setbacks. So what's the difference between the person who takes that and transmutes it and moves forward in life and finds a measure of success versus the person who ends up languishing in that pain? One of those things is courage, okay? Now, let me say this because I'm about to get into some deep stuff. Courage is not about running up on somebody being ready to fight. Sometimes that's not courage that makes us do that. Sometimes that's depression, that's self-sabotage, that's a whole lot of things. Courage is not about fighting other people. Courage is not about saying any old thing, any old mean thing, any old harsh thing that you want to say. Sometimes courage say, be quiet. Hear it and don't respond. Sometimes courage says, even though what you want to say is true, you have the strength not to say it. And you have the courage not to say it, right? We are people who we get a little bit of teaching sometimes and we zoom straight to the extremes with it, and then we'll go to this extreme and that extreme, and we have lost balance. We have lost moderation. Moderation is something you practice for yourself. It has nothing to do with the God of the Bible. It has nothing to do with other people and what they say is moderate, but it's about you being aware of how you feel in a moment, what's coming up for you, and what serves you most in any given situation. I remember, and I share this story quite frequently, right? Because me personally, I have never had a fight with any of my sisters or my brothers, and I have a lot of them. However, I remember when I was a teenager, me and my sister got into it really bad. I was 13 maybe 14. But to me, that felt like a grown-up thing, right? We got into it, and we had been arguing back and forth about nothing really. A lot of people didn't know we were sisters. So, you know, folks, how they start trying to go back and forth. Well, she fell into it. And she's one of my older sisters. So one day I was coming down the street and she was coming down this way and she said something. She had a little crowd with her, but she slapped me in my face. And I remember in that moment thinking, what do I do? Because I was torn between two extremes. Like, I have never put my hands on a family member. I've just never done that. Should I do, because I don't know which one thing I believe the most, defend myself or protect my family. I don't know. And then she did it again. I'm still in thought process, right? And I looked at her, because I back then I used to carry knives all the time. I looked at her, and here's the reality. I couldn't whoop my sister. Like, she was one of them men like girls, right? I wouldn't have been able to beat her up. And I know that. So what I would have done, though, is stab her, because that's what I was about back then. And I wanted to, because not only did she put her hands on me, she put her hands in my face, and she did it in front of people. Those are just violations that's unforgivable. And I thought about that, and I was like, would you really stab your sister over this? And I just walked around her and walked away. I have never done that before that time, and I've never done it since. I've never, ever done that. But the fact that I did it then has helped me stop a lot of situations from escalating since, because I didn't even know that kind of strength was there. A lot of us, we just don't know until we're in a situation what we're capable of. And to have the inner fortitude to not only walk away from her, but not respond to the hecklers, because you know how kids are, and not respond the next day at school and the next day at school and the next day at school, just to be blank to it. That took inner strength. Because I still to this day don't feel bad about it, because the only other way it could have turned out is my sister wouldn't have been here, or would have been cut up and in the hospital. It was no other way for that to turn out. Take the shit or deal with it, and deal with it. That's how a lot of us are. Last night before I went to bed, I made a post on my first Emme Rain page, and I said, we have to become truth. We have to be prepared. We have to be mature enough to hear it and to be it and to sit with it. Now, here's the thing about truth. Sometimes when we hear it, right, we turn away. That's just too raw. That's too much. Like when a man say, yeah, I love you, but you ain't the only bitch I love. I love her, and I'm gonna fuck all of y'all. And then all of a sudden, you turn a part of your understanding away from that, and like, no, he gonna love me one day. I'm gonna be his only one day. He gonna leave her one day. But he done already told you his truth. Rather blatant like that or put it in your face. You turn away. Another thing that we do a lot of times with truth is we rebel against it. Girl, listen. They said that this company, they ain't gonna pay no retirement. They ain't gonna do this. They ain't gonna do that. You've been at home without a job for 6 months. They ain't gonna do this. They ain't gonna do that. And they say that it's real hard to work there. And girl, let me tell you, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of people talking about it. And you see it, you hear it, blah, blah, blah. But then you letting your need make you rebel against the truth. So you go right up in there. Then you there 2-3 weeks and now you sick. You just like, oh, they miss this is that. They ain't paying me what I'm worth, blah, 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 blah. But you knew that before you got there. You rebelled against the truth that came to you to spare you these hardships, because you don't even know another job was right around the corner. And now you up in here and you are suffering from something that you found out about before you got to it. You rebelled against the truth, right? Another thing that we do sometimes with truth is we get fearful. The doctor says, so we ran your test results, and it came back that you have, I don't know, what's that? Diabetes. You got diabetes. You're going to need insulin. You're going to be insulin dependent. You're not going to be able to treat this thing without the insulin, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to change your diet. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that, blah, 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 blah. Or even worse yet, it is cancer and we're going to have to remove your breast. They told you their version of truth, what they found. And some of us will hear that, we get afraid, and all of a sudden that thing that we barely even knew we were sick, it just so happened we went to the doctor to get a checkup. Now we found out about this thing. Now it gets massive because we're sending all this power and all this energy to it, and we believe it's stronger than us, and we're terrified of it. So the energy now is working against us with this thing that we already don't want, but we don't feel like we have the courage or inner fortitude or strength to push it away. So we get afraid and we're consumed by that. Another thing that people become because of truth is bitter. They get angry. They get beside themselves. They can't believe it. They can't get past it. So when I made the post last night, this is what I was talking about. And that's why I'm doing this live this morning about inner fortitude. When truth comes, you have to be in a position, not have to, because you can be in a kind of way you want to. This is the best way to be. You need to be in a position to where when it presents itself, that it's welcomed, right? I welcome the truth and I embrace it, okay? Even if it's painful to hear it, it's not the hearing it that's pain. It's the whatever the circumstances are contrary to what I wanted that brings the pain. Truth is never your enemy. And a lot of people treat it like such, and then they turn around and beg for it. But they don't have the inner fortitude to sit with a hard reality and just deal with what that is. I had a conversation with a person one time, and I didn't want to have this conversation with this person because he was like my best friend. Like, it's very rare that you could be, as a woman, be best friends with a man and he be sexually attracted to you, but yet at the same time respect you in that sexual attraction, and he's not gay. It's just y'all are just really good friends. And again, I ain't never met a Scorpio I didn't like, but I don't date Scorpio men. I just don't do it. But anywho, it was like we were best friends, but he would always from time to time, kind of like when I'm in between relationships, come back to the, hey, we should be together, we should be together, we should be together. Truth of the matter was, the fact that he was a Scorpio man was one thing. The fact that he was fat was another. And it finally came up because I'm not going to lie to my friend. It's just like, I don't date fat guys. I just don't. And it felt horrible for that to come out my mouth because I knew that it would hurt. But you know what? He took that as a reality because it's not the first time he ever heard it. He sat with that, and then he brought his own rebuttal. I couldn't argue with his rebuttal. The nigga's rebuttal was brilliant. He was absolutely right, but I still didn't do it because I did love him enough to honor our friendship and never hurt him, because I knew what I would be like if I went into that relationship, even though I know that he's a good man. You know what I mean? So, having said all of that, he could have gotten angry. He could have gotten bitter. He could have gotten a lot of things, but what he did was accept it. And in that moment, which was a long time ago, it was like a refresher for me. I don't have to respond to everything that hurts my feelings. I don't have to act out. I can be present to a fact that is contrary to what I want it to be and still be in control of myself, still be in all of my faculties. And women, we especially got to do better because we have been allowed to be the weaker sex and so over emotional and clown and do that we've been so allowed to do that now we just do it to our own detriment. You did what? I can't believe it. It's like you choosing to be discombobulated by everything that go on in your life. Your child said, Mom, I remember the first time Tario smoked weed. Okay? He had just graduated high school. He had just went to college. And he came home. Now, I knew he was drinking a little bit and I wasn't tripping. And at this time, I had never even smoked weed, right? So he came home and I was looking at him and I'm like, he ain't just drunk. This is something else. And then I got paranoid because I had never smoked weed. I couldn't tell the difference between weed, crack, or whatever else. All I know is drugs was drugs. I was very indiscriminate on that. So I was like, are you high? And he started laughing and said, yeah. Inside of me, I felt like the biggest failure in the world. I mean, all the boy did was get high, right? But in my mind, his life was over. He was supposed to be some street walking crackhead. It was just... I was falling apart inside. It's just like, oh my God, where did I go wrong? I said, who got you doing that? I already ready to blame somebody, because that's another thing we do. When we don't want what's true to be true, we look for a scapegoat. All demons are scapegoats. Just FYI, had to throw that in there. They're scapegoats. That's what religion has made a scapegoat for the behavior of people and for all the evils of the world, and it's just not the case. But anywho, I digress, okay? But I was looking for a scapegoat because you hanging around such and such, you hang around such and such. But in the inside, I wanted to shake him and just bust at him and tie his ass up. I'm like, I'm not gonna let you be a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? And but I didn't. You know what I did? As hard as it was, I sat and I looked at him, and I realized it ain't nothing you can say to him. Plus, for one thing, he high, and then for the other thing, he happy. You know, and he ain't gonna remember none of this. It's like I said, just be careful, and I walked away because I was in tears. He didn't know it. And he probably hadn't heard it to this day, but I was in tears. I was literally destroyed within. And something came to me even then and said, you know how you raised them. There was a scripture in the Bible, and I used to stand on it all the time while raising my son because I didn't always do a good job. And it says, you know, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he won't depart from it. So I might have to wait till you get a little older and grow out of it, but blah, 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 blah. You know, coming from that place, I controlled myself not to lose my son. We have all done it. We have all been in situations where because of what we wanted, we have reined it in. If you've ever reined it in for any reason, like an example, your mama come at you with some bullshit one day when you go over there and you want to cuss her ass out, but then you know that's your mama. And if y'all had a mama like my mama who crazy, you really ain't fit to do it because you don't want them kind of problems in your life. So in your mind, you like, ooh, da, 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 but you don't let that stuff roll out your mouth. That was showing restraint. You can do the same thing in every aspect of your life where you need to. Now, getting to the point of this message, inner fortitude is something that is built just like a muscle. When you see all these big muscle-bound men and they got these well-developed cut shapes and all this kind of stuff, they had to work on it. They had to lift weights. They had to manage their diet. They had to do squats. They had to do leg presses and launches and all types of stuff to get the legs together, get the abs together. It took some work. It didn't come automatically. It's easier for some people than others, yes, but it's possible for everybody, okay? So when you look at your life and you don't have what you desire, but you also lack self-control, and you also lack inner fortitude, you don't have the strength to press into what you desire, don't be mad at others who do. You ain't got the right because they ain't got nothing that you can't have. Nobody you know has anything that you can't have. Now, I said that one time to a girl with her dumb ass. That made me so mad, y'all, but I kept that shit to myself and went on through that session. She said, well, she got that man and I can't have him. He don't want me, he with her. That's her husband, you dumbass bitch. But you can have your own husband. She already got hers. What kind of shit is that? You don't want exactly what somebody else have. You don't want to take their shit. You want your own. The same way everybody else wants to maintain what they have and hold on to it and be in a good space with it, it's the same way you want to be in a good space with your stuff. That's why you don't mess with other people's stuff. This is a big thing in the magical community, and I'm going to speak on it right here because I got a minute, okay? People in the magical community will see somebody accomplish something, see somebody do something, see somebody get somewhere, and suddenly want to take their space. That ain't your motherfucking space. If it was, you'd be there already. If you want a space, create one. That's what I did. Wasn't nobody standing in Emme Rain shoes. I created these shoes. And I rocked the hell out of them, and nobody else could feel them. If I tried to make them feel them, they couldn't do it. Because there is not another me, just like there is not another you. I found the fortitude within to pull my life together. That is what we all must do. You can't borrow that shit because nobody is with you enough to hold you accountable 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, sometimes a month, 30 days a month, 31 days a month, 28 days a month, however many days this month, whatever month it is, 365 or 366 days a year. Nobody is there like that. But you, if you don't have it inside of you to go forward for what it is that you say you want, what are you really good for? And if that question hurt your feelings, I meant for it to. What are you good for if you're not even good for yourself? I can't fix your life. That I like Iyanla Vanzant. I don't watch her all the time. I'm not gonna act like I do. I'll be honest. I'm not big on following anybody anymore. I grew out of that years ago. I catch random things. Like I used to watch all of Cheryl's stuff. I used to watch this person, that person, this person. I gotta be careful about calling names because folks pop up and say it was my mentor. You know what I'm saying? That was a petty moment, but I had it, okay? So, but I used to watch all these different people, and I grew out of that shit quickly. And I started listening within. It's not that I don't have mentors or teachers. I do, but I don't follow crowds and get into fads. I'm just not that person. When something is meant for me to hear, it'll come to me. I'll be guided right to it, right? But I like her, but she can't fix your life. That's a misnomer, misconception. Neither can I. Neither can Tasha. Neither can your favorite anybody. All anybody can do is inspire you or educate you, remind you of who you are, support you in your path and your journey. But can't nobody make the horse bow his head and drink water. Nobody. Even if you bow his head, he ain't got to drink. He could choose to drown before he drink. And that is a lot of you. And I ain't being funny and I ain't trying to hurt you, but the truth is the truth. A lot of you are so stubborn against your answer, so tied up in your emotion because you feel something, you can't move past it. You better learn. One day, this is a true story. I was in a session, not a session, at a tour. I was up talking, and this young lady, she was sitting there, and her energy was disturbing me. I'm being honest, okay? I'm having an honest moment. So I'm talking, I'm up working the floor, right? And we got a full house. I ain't gonna even say where it was because too many people have been to my events. I'm just gonna say at a location, one of these locations. It was a full house, and I'm walking, and every time I see her, it was irritating myself, my spirit, my soul was just irritated. You know, I was just like, man. And I started feeling like somewhere deep inside of me, like, oh, I hate she came. You know what I'm saying? I hate she came. But I remember feeling that way when I realized she was coming, like, oh my God, Lord Jesus, I hate she came. I don't want her here, right? So as I go through the process and everything, I started getting really irritated. Well, we got to the part where it was time to take pictures, and she was very inconsiderate. So we got a certain amount of time to take the pictures, and everybody wants to take a picture. So you have to take your picture, say a couple words, you know, a minute, and move on. She got there and she stood and started talking, and I was listening, trying to listen, and I was trying to be what I'm supposed to be because it's professional and protect my business, right? So I'm like, yeah, and I'm listening, and I'm interacting, I'm kind of giving her some words, but people are lined up, so I look over her shoulder a couple of times, and then I said, yeah, well, okay, well, you need to probably book a session and we'll talk about it. And she said, yeah, you know, I was going to tell you. She just kept talking. And I was thinking to myself, because now I'm conflicted. I'm like, I already don't like her, so I got to manage how I act. And I can't, and I don't want that to slip into what I want to say, but she really getting on my nerves and she being an asshole, right? And it's been a few times since I've been on tour that I've met an asshole. I remember in this one place, this one chick, who actually somebody else paid for her to come to meet me. She dominated the whole thing. She just talking all over people, just talk. Yeah. And it was funny because she had a big smear of lipstick on her teeth. So Lovey had let her know she had a smear of lipstick on her teeth. She literally got the napkin, rubbed it off, and kept on talking over other people. And other people had started talking to me. And I was thinking to myself, whew, you know, conflicted, right? I'm not the type that let shit like that pass. I had to find it inside of myself to reach for something more, which is I got to protect my image and I got to protect my business. And I also, the third thing way down under that list is protect the people who come, because they did pay money to see me, or either they was gifted or whatever the case may be, but they invested to get here, and the least I can do is be loving, right? Even when I want to just strangle some people, just like, bitch, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Put a spell on somebody. Like, Just you're doing too goddamn much. And even so, when I look at that part of me, I realize I ain't always been there. It came from moment by moment having opportunity to act out, but don't. Have an opportunity to say all kind of mean shit, but don't. Have an opportunity to fall apart, but don't. Every moment is an opportunity. Every moment. A lot of you looking for these big results, but you're not doing the little bitty work. It is from a seed that you get a tree. A seed. Just a seed. I wish I had some right here in front of me, but I don't. Just a seed. And a lot of us, we like, fuck that seed, give me the tree. It's like, but you hadn't invested in this tree, having a tree. You ain't planted nothing, you ain't fed nothing, you ain't watered nothing, you ain't spoke to nothing, you ain't tended to nothing. You think you're supposed to just wake up and have a whole fucking tree? Just like the person over here who worked for it. I hate people who say it ain't work. Y'all, I love light workers and I can't stand their motherfucking ass. I'm just telling you the truth sometimes. I love the energy of a light worker because those who are sincere, it's so peaceful. It's kind of like, you go to sleep, right? But I found that's kind of like a siren's scream that sounds pleasant to the ear, but it's leading you to your death, because sometimes they'll lull you into a rest when you're not in a space where you're supposed to be resting. You're in a space where you're supposed to be working. Oh, you just allow. Oh, you just allow. No, everything ain't just allow. Some things is transmute. That's why alchemy exists. Some things is resist. That's how you get muscle. A plane flies against the wind. The wind becomes the resistance that gives it lift. Without the resistance, there is no lift. Not for the plane. A plane and a helicopter, those are two different things. We have to understand something in life. Opposition is a part of it. It doesn't mean that everything that opposes you ain't your enemy. But there's a lot of times where you need opposition because you're weak. Because you need to be stronger. When I was working on my legs so I could walk again without a walker, and this was many years ago, the first day that we met, this man had me, and the only reason why I listened is because he was a doctor. He had me hold a pole, and he had me to lift my good leg. Now keep in mind, I was dragging this left leg behind me because I couldn't lift it. He had me lift my good leg and took my crutch away. And then he told me to take a squat with my numb leg, my left leg. I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's too many people out here. I might fall. People going to be laughing at me. This is where I was. I'm being honest. And it was painful. So I was like, I said, no, this is the leg that's messed up. He said, I know, and that's the leg you're going to do squats on. How can you build a muscle back if you don't use it? Dumb moment, right? So the first one that I did when I went down, all of this electrical shock feeling was running up my leg into my spine. And I ain't type to cry in front of people, y'all, but I was dropping some big fat ass tears like doop, doop, doop. I was like, oh God, it hurts so bad. But then I couldn't scream, but I wanted to, right? Because there was people around. And I ain't making no scene, cool points and all. So I'm like, I did it, and I did it once, and I got back up, and I was just like, is that it? He was like, you gonna do 10? 10? Nigga, I just put my walker down like 3 days ago. What do you mean, 10? 10 of them. And he stood there and he counted. Drinking his coffee out of the cup. He's like, all right, I'll meet you here tomorrow. Do y'all know in 3 days I was able to lift my leg? 3 days, I could lift it. Now I had to think about it. It caused me to walk a little slower. But I literally was getting to a point where I could lift this leg again. Within a week, I was walking normal as long as I didn't walk too fast. And about a month after that, not even a whole month, maybe 3 weeks after we started, I was playing basketball one day, and the ball got kind of bounced hard against the thing, and I ran to get it, and I can't even believe I ran. Like, I wasn't thinking about it. I just reacted, and I was like, oh shit, I ran. So I ran all the way around the building like 3-4 times. I couldn't believe it. It was like, I can't believe this shit. And I was just in tears thanking him and appreciating him and loving on him. But it took some strength. It took some pain. But you can't tell that I was ever on a walker. If you didn't see me during that time, you wouldn't even believe it. You can't tell that I got nerve damage on the left side of my body. It took some work. Don't be afraid. Tasha Matreya says something all the time. You're worth your work. I think a lot of people miss what she's really saying. You're doing this for you. Don't you deserve the best? Find it inside of yourself to get your ass out the bed every morning. Do what you gotta do. You say, I'm 250 pounds. I need to drop 50. Get your ass up out that bed. Get moving. Get on your treadmill. Walk your block. Walk your dog. Fuck your man. Quit laying on your back and on your side all the time. Get on top sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Do something. Get moving. Move. Put on some music. Dance. Okay? You the one who say you want to lose 50 pounds. Did nobody tell you you had to? You chose to say, this is something I want to do, so you start doing it. Might cook all the time. Lately, I ain't been eating like that. Because I realize as long as I allow that to be an excuse, I'm going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and fucking bigger. And some of that stuff be smelling so good, and I just be sitting here like, and he like, baby, you hungry yet? It's like, now you might as well go and eat without me. I ain't eating half as much as I was, and I'm starting to lose weight. I be tired a lot. Okay? So it takes a lot of energy to say no sometimes to the food. I be wiped out and be like, you all right? No, I'm going through something. I think I'm mildly depressed or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't eat what I want to eat. But I don't need to. Then coronavirus come along and shut down all my favorite restaurants. Can't go nowhere to eat. So the weight is coming off. I'm taking advantage of it, and I'm not crying about it. I'm taking the inner fortitude to just do it. I don't like green tea. Been drinking it. Been doing a detox. I don't like detoxing. Nobody tells you. Everybody gets online and they talks about detoxes. I'm taking sidebar real quick because this is important for y'all to know, especially those of you who want to detox, okay? They tell you should detox. Nobody tell you what happens to the body when you get to detoxing. Like the sweat, the salty sweat. We ain't gonna talk about the violent purging sometimes. Even when they say it's gentle to you. You don't know what it's gonna be like to me. And so next thing you know, you done spent 4 hours out of a day in and out the bathroom. And you almost raw. You just like, oh my God, I ain't taking no more of that shit, right? Because that's what a detox is. But if you want to be healthy, that's something you got to do. I've been even drinking water. I take water to build me every now and again. Drinking way less Mountain Dews, right? Because I choose to give myself a better life. I want to feel a little bit better and look a whole lot better. Hell, I be seeing some of these people on there and be like, oh no, I ain't ready to give up yet. I got to get my fine back on. It's all because I want it. You are worth your work. If you want to be wealthy, you ain't going to get that laying up in the bed, watching TV all the time, and gossiping and playing games on Facebook. Sharing a bunch of memes, talking about I really want a business. Why wasn't you spending that time researching, doing paperwork? You ain't got to pay nobody to do no articles of incorporation or articles of organization. I learned how to do them from a person showing me a website where I can download a sample and then repurpose that sample. I read this book. I can't remember the name of the book, like 3 books. And then I started, next thing you know, I was doing it for other people, for a living. It's not hard. You make it hard because you ain't never done the research. Anything you have not exposed yourself to, you're terrified of, fearful. Oh, this is going to be so complicated. No, it ain't. Somebody hit me up the other day and said, Em, can you get my EIN for me? How much you charge to get my EIN for me? Now, if I was a dusty bitch or just desperate for money, I'd been like, oh, give me $100, I'll get it for you. Our EIN is free. Free. Somebody say free? Yes, free. You go to irs.gov, G-O-V, and you click, employer identification number or EIN. And then you fill out the application. The name of the business, address, this, that, who's the registered, that'll be you, this, that, and the third. And then a lot of times you get your number right then, and they mail you one later. That's simple. Boom. Over with. But people think, oh, it's the IRS. I can't. You gotta stop being intimidated by the steps necessary for you to get where you want to go. I remember when I started this. I remember the first time I met Baron Samedi. I was in New Orleans, set up, of course, by myself. Definitely a setup, but a setup from spirit. Grateful now, grateful. But that house was so heavy with spirits, and I was terrified. I ain't gonna lie. And I wanted to go get something to eat, and I was scared to leave. And then I was like, oh, but I'm hungry. So I went, and I was in an Airbnb. So I went and got something to eat, and I came back, and there was all these energies, and I felt watched. Like, I had all the curtains drawn and everything, and I'm like, why do I feel so watched? And then I saw this darkness coming toward me, big looming darkness, and all these voices started popping off, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do this shit. My nerves was shot. By the time I got ready to go to bed, which I was terrified to do, like, do I sleep on the couch or do I go to the bed? Is there any place safe in this room? But I'm gonna sleep in this bed because it's really nice. So I go and get in the bed. Why is it a chair right in front of the bed up against the wall? And it's empty, but it ain't empty. And I'm sitting there looking at this chair. I'm like, oh, something there. Oh my God, something there. And I'm turning and I'm tossing, I'm turning. Because people want to sound amazing in spirituality, but they don't talk about the reality. How do you get from unaware to amazing? Well, it's a process. And I flipped and I flopped and I finally did what all terrified children do and what I do every time I'm afraid. I got under the covers, I covered my whole head up and I went to sleep or fainted. That's probably more accurate. I fainted until the next morning because I just could not take it. I could feel something and everything all over me. The next morning when I got up, I was like, oh, I woke up, my throat ain't slit, you know what I'm saying? I ain't grow horns, didn't nothing eat me up last night, you know what I'm saying? I'm still here and I feel kind of normal in my head, you know? I'm moving my body, I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I get up to go get in the shower and I'm just washing, even though I'm a little nervous, I'm like, I'm in the shower. This is the most, what's that word? The most vulnerable time that you'll ever be in a house, right? Is when you're in the shower and there's nobody else in the house but you. This is how my mind used to think, y'all. So I'm in the shower and I'm bathing and I'm just minding my business and I'm trying to rush through the whole process because I don't want to be in there too long. And I fool around and I'm going down this leg and I'm like, what the hell is that? It looked like serial numbers all the way down my right thigh. I was like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, so I'm bathing and everything. And I start looking and I pull around and this left thigh, I pulled it up because I got some thick thighs. Like you can move these bitches like a car, right? So I pull it up and it's a big ass hickey looking marks going all the way up my inner thigh up to my yoo-hoo. I was like, oh! And I'm talking about they big and they're purple and red and I'm matching it don't hurt, but they're there. And I'm like, oh my God. So I called at the time these ladies who were also doing this whole thing with me. And I'm naked, wrapped in a towel. Oh my God, look at what happened to me last night. What the hell is this? You know, it's like I got raped. It's like, what the fuck happened, you know? And she's calm down. It's just sign of spirit. I don't want spirit leaving no signs on my body. What the fuck is that all about, right? But I'm freaking out. But I came back and brought Baron Samedi and the ancients. That's the weight of the ancients that was resting on my body. And these numbers start turning into the moon cycles, all 8 cycles of the moon. A lot of people only know about 4. They know full, new, and they know waxing and waning. Or some people say half and a quarter, but it's actually 8 phases of the moon. They have, and it was like they was going right down my leg. And I would talk to my apprentices about it. And it began a relationship that I am very grateful for. But it didn't start just, oh, I called Baron and he sat down and I felt good and I got up and had a great day. All spirituality not like that. It took a lot of inner fortitude to get past times where I'm sitting downstairs and my toilet flush by itself. The lights come on by themselves. The lights go off by themselves. You know, people come over and my house go crazy. Got folks looking at me like, girl, what the fuck is up with this house? It's like, I mean, my pastor came to see me one time. He was like, I don't know what's going on over there in that corner, but that ain't, I don't know. And he just kept looking. And I knew he wasn't going to be there long. And he didn't stay long. He's like, overall, it feels good, but it's a lot. It's a lot going on over there. It took something. When Lilith came, I heard snakes. I'm terrified of snakes. I was running from nothing in the house. But I didn't stop my practice. There was days where I was building this business and I had sold more than I had product to make. I had to hear him try to find product and try to hear him do this, and I had to call people and be like, hey, listen, I got your order, I'm gonna ship it to you, but I gotta re-up on product, because it used to be a time where I was buying as I was selling, because I had to build my business. And some people wanted a refund and some people didn't. They were willing to wait, and I had to deal with that and keep on moving. I didn't fall apart because I didn't know what I was gonna do, and this, that, and the third. I had to get up and keep going, get up and keep going, get up and keep going every day. Magical Mystic didn't start off with $1 million. It started off with me stealing some damn, well, not started off right here, but the oils started off. The first oil I made, which I made it for myself, part of the merchandise was unscanned at Walmart. Let's just keep it real. Unscanned merchandise at Walmart. That's stealing. We start where we start, but we got to start. And we got to keep going, and we got to improve upon ourselves. We got to improve upon the quality of who we are. Integrity to me is not, when a person say, I've always had integrity, I've always been honest, I've always done everything right, I know they're a motherfucking lie. Did you hear me say it just like that? I mean it just like that. They're a motherfucking lie. We all have shameful things in our past. And part of integrity is even using that to be an example to other people, that no matter what you have done or where you have been, you can shift, become more, have more, and do better. Don't be afraid of your own truth, and don't be afraid of any truth that meets you anywhere. Make truth your friend, and make fortitude your law, right along with love. I'm going to do what I got to do. That's the law of my life. I'm going to do what I got to do. It doesn't matter if I want to. It doesn't matter if I feel like it. I don't ask myself, hey, do you feel like brushing your teeth this morning? Who gives a fuck if I feel like it or not? It got to be done. Hey, do you feel like washing your tail this morning? Yeah, I'm going to wash my ass, okay? It got to be done. Why am I consulting my feelings? I would feel like laying in the bed all day, but if you got appointments, you got to get your ass up, so just get up. Stop making things emotional that don't have to be. Stop building a bureaucracy over things that it don't matter what the vote is. If you say, I have a business, then you have a baby. You have an infant, a newborn. Babies don't, last time I checked, I don't know, give it another 1,000 years, they might. But right at this moment, they don't come out knowing how to make their own bottle. They can't bathe themselves. They can't change themselves. They can only lay there and look cute, and sometimes look a hot-ass mess with all that hollering, right? That's all they can do for now. And millions upon millions of mothers choose to make that a reality for themselves every day. And some of those same people claim they can't be consistent with a business. And I be wondering, I wonder if that baby got diaper rash. I wonder if that child got lice and shit in their head. I wonder if it's clean. You know, is she bathing the baby? Did she wash this baby's hair? Is that child fed? Because if all of these things are true, you're capable of all those things too. It's not complex. It's just choice. Okay? If you want something, show that you want it. Commit to it. And when it tells you what's required, to bring it into reality, because whatever you commit to will show you what's necessary. When a man, it'd be funny to me because somebody always trying to marry me. Somebody's always trying to marry me, trying to date me or something, especially on Facebook. And half of them might be looking like, you wouldn't last a week with me, because I ain't easy. I don't try to be, right? But if a man comes to you and says he want to date you, just like if a man comes to me and say he want to date me, don't we have requirements? Don't we know what we do and don't want? I hope we do anyway. If somebody want to hire us at a job, or let's just change that. If we're hiring somebody for a job, wouldn't we be looking for something specific? Not just anything that will apply? We know what's the requirement to have us in your life. And the same thing with your business. When you say, I'm going to give birth to a real estate company, the real estate company then says to you, well, these are the requirements. You need this license, you need this insurance, you need that, you need this is your initial blah, 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 blah. And you take that, you sit with that and say, I'm going to honor that. And then you build a plan so that you can honor it. It's real simple. See how simple it sounds when I say it, and then when y'all get off of here and you start thinking about it, get complex again. It's like, oh, but how am I do this? How you trying to do too much all at one time? First, just sit and make a commitment and know what you're committing to. Whether it's at your home, whether it's in your body, your health, your meditation time, your spiritual development, whether it's with your relationships, whether it's jobs or businesses, it's all the same principle. You sit, you commit, you build a plan, you take action on your plan. Real easy, right? All it takes is in a Fortitude, because it ain't gonna always go the way you plan it. But you make a plan anyway, so you have some direction for your activity. I'm pointing my action towards something. That's what I need a plan for. Now, if some go haywire and go all the way out into left or right field, then I'm gonna come back and address that, and then maybe I'll readdress my whole plan, rebuild or rethink it, or I just deal with that thing, address that thing, and get back on point, right? And keep going toward what I'm going toward. You need a plan. I hate when people act like they super deep, but they ain't got shit to show for it other than their words. Well, see, normally I'm so deep. I mean, I just normally can remember, and I can just normally, and I don't need to write things down. And I've never had to do all of that. And bitch, you ain't got nothing to show for it. That's why I can see that you've never done that. Because where are you? For those who don't know me, because I know this is a new page, I used to word bitch a lot. I will use any word. I am free, right? And you'll get used to it. Or you won't. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I'm going to be me. So please don't inbox me talking about, just don't use the word bitch, because then I'm going to respond, bitch, this is my motherfucking mouth. That's what I'm going to say, right? So I'm really spiritual, and really spiritual, meaning I'm spiritually free. So just don't do it. Just a warning. So you don't waste your time, your oxygen, your energy. That could be better used towards something else you're manifesting, because you can't manifest me to stop doing nothing I do. Disclaimer done, right? But it's like, quit trying to be so deep when you know you ain't where you want to be. You want to act like you just amazing. Well, I've gotten results. What results? Where are they? Show somebody those results. Then a lot of times when you get to ask some questions, it's inconsistent. It's never really what that person wants. It's this, is that. It's like, so listen then. If you see somebody who got it the way you want to have it, and they say to you, this is a process you need to learn, at least try it. It might not be your process after all, but how will you know if you never tried? A lot of you love hiding behind excuses. Well, I ain't never had to do that before. When I try to meditate, it doesn't work. I fall into meditation naturally. So in other words, when you're pulled into meditation by something else, it works, but you can't control your own mind and quiet it when you want to. But you want to be a spiritual powerhouse. But you cannot make yourself meditate. Do I have to go into that? Tell you how ridiculous that sounds? But I can't. But I'm powerful. You will never convince me that you're powerful if you have no self-control. Because you're not. Powerful how? I was one time I was dating this guy, and he was a control freak. And sometimes it was cute. Cause sometimes I think it's cute when a man be trying to tell me what to do. I'll be like, oh, ain't that cute? He's trying to tell me what to do, you know. But then I have my days where I ain't in the mood. I'm busy. I got other stuff going. And then you try it, and then you get a different response, like, and then you confused. So he was confused. He was like, what you mean? No, like the fuck I said, no. I ain't doing it, and you don't run me. Now I'm all in it. You don't run me. If I do something you tell me to do, it's because I want to. When I don't want to, I ain't doing it. So leave me the fuck alone, get the fuck out of my face, and get the fuck out of here. Because that's what I done said, and I said what the fuck I meant. No, nigga. That's what I said. And so now it's like, where did this new bitch come from? She always been here. I just was amused one time. I ain't amused all the time. So now you getting to meet all of the other side of me. I control me. Even when I allow myself to do what somebody else has asked me to do. You control you. Guided meditation can be distracting. For some people, they start there because they need somebody to kind of help them get in. I started there, but it got to a place where it was very distracting to have somebody else's voice going from time to time. And so I don't use guided, like word guided meditations anymore. You know what, Jimmy Alice? I should have thought about YouTube before I did this, because I done used a few choice words. But I'm gonna start doing YouTube worthy videos. Actually, we got about 12 or 14 videos that got to be uploaded to YouTube, and it's just a matter of actually getting them loaded up. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Bishop Looney. Yeah, my pastor was on here. Yep. So, anywho, here's the deal. So, there's been some talk of a slowdown in shipping. We are shipping all orders out. Like, as of right now, the back office should be at 0. If it's any orders, it's orders that came in like yesterday. But we are packing and shipping as soon as stuff comes in, because there may be a slowdown. So guys, if you have oils that you want to get, candles that you want to get, and which, let me tell you guys about the candles. So now we have Sun Bliss. I'm so fucking proud of that candle. I think it's amazing. It is definitely an antidepressant. You feel the energy in your solar plexus. It is solar charged, right? I charge our candles. So it's not just, Mike makes it, pours it, you know, blends up the colors and do all of that for me, but he keeps me in here with him. So we are making candles together, and I actually charge them and dress them and the whole thing. So every single candle that you get has had my hands on it. That's one thing. And for somebody like, damn girl, who you think you are, a goddess? Everything I touch is blessed. You'll learn one day. Anywho, so it was like, so we're making these candles. Sun Bliss is an antidepressant. It's a feel good, level up, alignment type of candle, and it's good also for prosperity or abundance. So we have Sun Bliss, we have Debt Cancellation, we have Get Money, which Get Money sells every day, every day, every day. Somebody orders something, Get Money every single day, but somebody is writing in about Get Money results every single day. People are literally turning things around using that blend. Now, I'm gonna say this, and I'm just gonna say this. The reason why a lot of people have almost instantaneous results from the products is because they come in with that expectation and they know what they're looking for. They ain't buying something just waiting to see what's gonna happen, because how do you know what happened if you don't know where to look? You know what I'm saying? You're just looking around, and all the time you looking right over the blessing. We have Rich Bitch, which I love, and we have Impenetrable Defense Goddess. All of these I love, of course. Femininity, Fulfillment Candle. We got Mental Clarity. We got Meditation. We have Just Desserts. We have Lucifer. We have Soul Snatch. and Lasting Love, Veil Walkers. So we got a lot of candles. We got more coming. We'll have Mars Mentum coming up pretty soon. It'll probably be next week or either maybe the weekend. It depends on how long it takes us to get those done. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff that is really, really good for you. And on top of that, all the oils are there. So if you got something that you need, just go and get it ordered as soon as you can, just so we can be sure that you get it. I don't know how true it is. I think the people at the post office be getting tired of us, but they told Aubrey that the National Guard came in there and said that they're going to be stopping people here and this and this and that. I went to the Louisiana website, the state website. It didn't say that, but Louisiana is a hard-hit state, mainly New Orleans, which is 5 hours from me. Like, it's not bad here where I'm at, not really. Yes, ma'am, Demonic Kings. I got that on the list too. That's coming up too. So I'm gonna definitely do that one. And it was a couple others. I had a list over here of the ones that's coming up, but I don't see it. But yeah, we got. I don't see it, but I'll put it on my website as soon as I find it. All the ones that's coming up, and we'll be releasing some more probably the weekend or early next week, something like that. But yeah, so just in case it's true, you know, I'm just making you guys aware just in case. But at this moment, we still go to work. You know, the store is not open for customers, but we're open to take orders online, and we're shipping. Yeah, so and it is what it is. We'll just see. I'll keep you guys posted if anything changes. The website is magicalmystic.com for those of you who don't know. That's where you can get all of your products and different things like that, fragrances and all of that. But if you want classes, you will go to divinityacademy.com. Okay? So I love you guys. Y'all have a great day. Let's get this Monday started. Right? Let's get this Monday started quickly, okay? I'm always quoting somebody's song. Talk to y'all soon.